Viewer discretion is advised. Go where no man has gone before. Real bad. Get wrecked.
Broadcasting live from beautiful 46-degree downtown Cleveland, it's station WDWL TV, home of not one, but 2 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and an Oscar. And, like usual, the flashing G stands for your host, me, Grumpy, and unfortunately, we're brought to you by Grumpy Vulture Productions. No vow. Oh, Jesus. Talk about Cleveland going backwards. At this rate, I think it's going to snow. Jesus. God damn. Freaking 46. I had to turn the furnace on. I was sitting here, and about an hour and a half ago, I was like, Jesus Christ. I had to put on my hoodie and cover my freshly shaved bald head. And I went out and I said, I've had enough. Clicked the furnace back on. Although, as you know, Kathy, it's Cleveland. Tomorrow it could be 90. Or tomorrow we could be ass deep in snow. You know, last night, I noticed the chat wasn't moving. And I thought possibly nobody had anything to say. Only to realize, after you emailed me this morning, at 44 minutes, the show quit. Just outright quit. I got, besides the chat, I got no warning. I had no idea it was frozen. And at the end of 44 minutes, the show just ended. And I sat here for 2 hours talking to myself. That's the only problem with OBS. Now with Prism, when it went haywire, you knew. Last night. So now, if the chat freezes, I know show's done. Did you get a chance to watch? I don't know if it was the second or the third video I sent with the sandwiches. You know, they say, which they were, Depression era. I still eat some of them today. I enjoy them just as much today as I did when I was a little kid. And you didn't realize when you were a little kid that your parents didn't have any fucking money to buy decent food. You just ate what was put on the table, whether you liked it or not. Now, I drew the line at tongue. My father would go down to the West Side Market and buy a tongue and boil that sucker up And then he would eat tongue sandwiches. I think it was basically seeing him the first time take that fucking tongue out of the wrapper. And, you know, a cow tongue is like 24 inches long. You don't realize how much tongue a cow has. But pinto bean sandwiches, I eat them every now and then. Pinto bean and onion. Gotta have some nice Spanish onion on it. Now, mashed sardine, oh, no. There were some sandwiches. First of all, I didn't know existed. But mashed sardine and hard-boiled egg, ugh. As a matter of fact, a sandwich I love that I used to get at the Jewish delicatessen when we had one in the neighborhood, chopped liver. I loved chopped liver sandwiches. And it's basically liver chopped with hard-boiled egg and, I don't know, maybe a little mayo. I doubt it. And then in the one video, rice and milk. I do that to this day. I'll take leftover rice, add milk, and a little bit of sugar. I love it. Not to mention you don't waste leftover rice. As a matter of fact, what I'll do every now and then is I will make a pot of rice. And then I go to the Spanish food store and I get this, it's almost like sweetened condensed milk, but it's a completely different flavor. And I will take and make up a pot of rice while it's still hot, add this, I'll say sweetened condensed milk, and some vanilla, and let it cool, and I call it poor man's rice pudding. It's delicious. You can make it with sweetened condensed milk also. And because I like rice pudding, but rice pudding is a pain in the ass to make. And as far as like mush, my grandmother made that all the time. Mush is so easy to make. Oh, I just remembered something. Remember, this is a little while back, I had made the comment that a friend of mine's wife used to make yellow eye bean sandwiches, which I loved them. It's a depression food. I never knew how to make them. So one day, a couple weeks ago, I'm at Save-A-Lot, and I took a thing of yellow eye beans, a package off the shelf, and I was looking at it, and this black lady, probably about the same age as me, says to me, "Are you going to make yellow eye bean sandwiches?" Out of the blue. And I said, "I would love to. I don't know how to make it." And she looked at me like I was speaking a foreign language. She says, "Honey, you soak the beans overnight. Then you drain them. You put them in a casserole dish. You put the casserole dish in the oven at 300 degrees for about an hour. Maybe an hour, 15 minutes. And halfway through, you stir them. And at the end of an hour or an hour, 15 minutes, you let them cool. After they're cool, you have a very dense casserole. You just scoop it out and put it on bread, sweetheart. So, in the cupboard, there is a package of yellow eye beans, and next week, I will be making them so I can have me some yellow eye bean sandwiches. Kids today would gag. They would like, "We ain't eating that shit." I would say 80%, 70% of those sandwiches I have eaten. And some I eat to this day. It's good, as my grandmother would say, stick to the ribs food. And that was all they were concerned about back in the 20s and 30s and 40s. Something that had vitamins and minerals and eased that stomach pangs. Kept your stomach from growling. But if you put some of those sandwiches on a table today, oh, kids, they'd run. "I ain't eating that shit." Though that video brought back a lot of memories. Because I had forgotten a lot of the stuff I ate as a kid. I really did. I'm watching it going, I ate that. It was more my grandmother cooking it, making it. Because basically, my father had a good job. We didn't eat like kings, but we didn't have to eat depression food either. But my grandmother would make it because I liked it. But like I say, some of them, mashed sardine and egg, I think I would draw the line at that sandwich. Although if you're starving, you're going to eat it. Like lard sandwiches. That one I would draw a line at. The narrator kept talking about Appalachia. I'm going to go through what the name of his site is. What? Old Glory Days. I'm going to go through and see if he has a segment. I know in Appalachia and down in that, they ate squirrel, they ate possum, they ate basically any animal except for a rat. I would guarantee if he's doing the old sandwiches, he's got to have a show with possum, squirrel, rabbit. Yeah, it was survival. It was survival. That's what it boils down to. If you wanted to wake up the next morning, you ate whatever was put on the table. Oh, I believe it. Because old traditions die hard. And anything down south, they don't make fancy. They make comfort food. And the comfort food they're making, their great grandparents made, and then their grandparents. And the tradition got passed down. And I would tend to believe today, teenage kids, and mainly, I'll say teenage girls, are learning how to cook the old comfort food because I would guarantee they enjoy eating it and they want to continue enjoy eating it and pass that along to their kids. When they say there's a divide between North and South, there is. Because us Northerners here, we think we're refined. I would love to live down there and eat some of the old comfort foods. Well, not possum or squirrel, but it's a whole different way of life down there. Now, things have changed a bit from the 50s and 60s, but if you get down in the deep South, I would guarantee it's still like the 50s and 60s. And Southerners are way more friendly than Northerners. You know, Southerners are the type like, are you hungry? Come on, sit down. Whatever they've got is yours. Come on, join us. We got plenty. And I would tend to say cornbread is probably a huge staple down south to this day. I would bet my next Social Security check that down in the deep South, cornbread is still a staple to this day. I would like to live down. I really would. Because I guarantee there's areas down south that are still as laid back as they were back in the 50s and 60s. I would love to be in some little tiny town where they have one street light. Everybody knows everybody's name. The mom and pop restaurants. I would love to live in a little dinky town like that. And I know they exist. I think it would be a very relaxing way of life. Oh, I got my letter regarding the Jeep. She did a nice lead-in to really make my day. It starts off, well, it's now come to the time where I have to sell the Jeep. And I was like,
Wow!
and then I read the second paragraph where it says, the motor blew up. She says the diagnosis, without it being taken apart, she thinks the oil pump quit and something let go. I am going to go over tomorrow and talk to her, because I appreciate her giving me first refusal, because she had written in the last letter a year ago, if I decide to sell it, I will contact you first, which when I saw that envelope, it shocked me. Mainly that she kept my name and address. And for the price, I would have run over there with cash in hand, because I thought it was an older Jeep. It's an '06. So that creates a problem, because even if it runs like shit, it's only 20 years old. It would never pass the E-check. I thought that was a 90s. And when I looked at you ought to see the money she spent on that thing. Holy shit. I think getting it ready for her son, I'm going to go, she sent me copies of repair orders. I think she spent over $3,000 getting that vehicle tip-top 100% for her son to drive, because last year he turned 16 and that Jeep was sitting waiting for him to get his driver's license, because that Jeep probably sat 5 years that I know of. I would drive. That's what originally made me write the letter. It just sat and sat and sat, never moved. And I said, if that's for sale, I'm interested. And she said, yeah, everybody wants to buy it. I'm holding it for my son, because she bought a new one. And typical 16-year-old, I have a tendency to think he didn't check the oil, because I find it hard to believe the oil pump went out. I really do. Or that, or he was hot rodding the shit out of it. Because it's got, I think it's got 200,000 miles on it. I got 3 pages of repair orders. Christ, she had it repaired at Firestone on top of it. They ain't cheap. Yeah, it's an 06 with 208,345. That was the mileage when she had it repaired and fully gone over. 3 pages worth. I mean, they did everything from replacing the windshield washers to you name it. God, the engine brakes all the way around, new tires. $3,646.57 a year ago. She spent almost $4,000 getting that Jeep in tip-top shape. I tend to think what she said was, whatever it needs, fix it. Not to mention, she also put a new top on it. I said, when I read this, I cried. Because it'll go to somebody as scrap. Someone will, either that or somebody will buy it and put another engine in it. But I am going to go over tomorrow to look at it, see if it runs, thank her for the letter. Because here's part of the problem. I would buy that Jeep in a heartbeat. Except a good friend of my son's who specialized in Jeeps. He started working on Jeeps with his father when he was like 10 years old. He opened his own garage, Jeep specialist, and believe me, he knew every year Jeep from bumper to bumper. And he would do modification lifts and, body kits. And I would buy that thing right now and take it to him because he would fix it extremely reasonable for me. But he's doing 2 years in jail the stupid ass for stalking. His girlfriend broke up with him, and he just couldn't take no for an answer. And she had a protection order, and he violated that order like 3 times. And finally, the judge said, "You need a cooling off period. You're going to jail for 2 years." I believe he lost his shop. Although I have to get a hold of his cousin and find out. I'm pretty sure he bought the building outright. So there's a possibility he didn't lose the shop, but he lost all the customers. And I don't know when he gets out. If he would get out in, say, 6 months, I'd buy it. But I have to have contact with him first. I'd have to ask him, are you going to reopen the business? Can you get it back up and running? And if he said, yeah, because that's my livelihood, I would buy that Jeep and sit on it. Now, I also found out that engine that is in that Jeep has an inherent problem. And for some unknown reason, even Chrysler can't figure it out. At a certain point in time, in that straight 6, cylinder number 5 will grenade itself. And I have the sneaking hunch that might have happened to this engine. It is a documented problem with that motor, and it's been going on for years. And Chrysler can't figure out why all of a sudden cylinder number 5 will grenade itself. And I have a sneaking suspicion that's what happened to this one. And if that's what happened, you either, well, you can't rebuild it because it screws up the block. So you're either going to put a used engine in or buy a remanufactured from the factory, which basically will be more than what the market value is for that Jeep. Even though that Jeep is 20 years old and rust-free, because they also have a problem where the at the attachment points for the rear springs, the hanger assembly rots off the frame. But that can be fixed because Chrysler makes a repair kit, but it's got to be cut out and re-welded. I was kind of hoping that was the problem, because I know somebody that does welding up the street, and I would pay him to repair it. But with a blown engine, nope. And story of my life. Hey, Grumpy, I'm going to sell you the Jeep. It's only $1,500, but it's got a blown motor. Oh, I'll take it. It's almost like buying the Passat. Make an offer of $200, sold. $2,800 later, and counting, the money pit, I was actually going to go up and have the tires put on this morning. I waited because the Jeep takes the same size tire. And not knowing that it's got new tires on it, because it's in the repair bill there. She had 4 new tires put on. I figured it's got old tires. I'd have put the tires on the Jeep and driven the Jeep every day until I get the Passat straightened around. Yeah, when I saw that return address, oh man, I was on cloud 9. And then I read the letter. Oh, that's sad. That is sad, because a lot of 20-year-old Jeep Wranglers are in shitty condition. I looked at one a couple of weeks ago. Matter of fact, it was a what year was that? This is an 06. I looked at like an 09 or a 10. And this thing was as rotten as my shitbox. somebody will buy it. And for the condition that it's in, it'll be somebody that's a Jeep aficionado. They'll buy it and do an engine swap and have that thing back on the road in no time. Because of the condition. The body has no rust. The frame has no rust. Like you say, she put new tires on it. It's got a new top on it. Because it's got the front half is fiberglass. And then over the passenger compartment in the back is that vinyl canvas convertible top. But I'm going to go over tomorrow, talk to her, thank her, see if it'll start. Because I was thinking if it didn't run too bad, but the problem is for the next 5 years, it has to have the Ohio E-Check inspection. With a fucked up motor, it'll never pass. So a lot of good it would be doing me to have that thing. Because I need something I could use as a daily driver. And oh man, But I'm going to see if it'll start because the damage is done. Not going to hurt it anymore. I want to listen to it. You know, there's a possibility that it might have spun one of the rod bearings and it's got a rod knock. If that is what happened, it's not what I would call an easy fix, but it's a lot cheaper fix than having to put another engine in it. Because if it didn't score the crankshaft, you put an oversized bearing in it, and a new rod and piston, and you can do that from underneath by dropping the oil pan. Even though I've never owned one, hanging around my son's friend's garage, I have learned enough. But I also read many articles about cylinder number 5 grenading itself for no reason. And that's what's got the Chrysler engineers scratching their heads. Every piston in that engine has the same connecting rods, the same bearings. Why is it only cylinder number 5? But that is the cylinder that blows up. It's really odd. Kathy, send some of that 71-degree weather this way, will you? You know, the other day, it was 77 degrees. When I put the headlights in, it was 77 degrees and sunny. And right now, it's 46 and cold because it rained a little bit this afternoon. Then I had to run up to the store, and in the information center, refill washer fluid, refill washer fluid, refill washer fluid. I can't refill it. There's a hole in the tank. I have to find my roll of flex tape. I have 3 of them somewhere. I bought 4 rolls. I used one to seal the windshield on the shit box. And I don't know where I put the other 3. And it figures because now I need a roll. And hoping I can seal that little hole in that washer bottle so that I don't have to disassemble half the car. Oh, I still can't believe I did that. I cannot believe I did that. But that's the price you pay for being lazy. Because I didn't feel like coming in the house and getting them long needle nose pliers. I was like, oh, I can pop it on with a screwdriver.
WTF?
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Loud enough for Kathy to hear it down south. Oh, hang on a sec. I gotta show you my new tool. Come on, hang up there. I was going to purchase this tool from Homeless Depot because I need a combination tool when I'm working on my electricals on the car. So every now and then I go through the tools on Temu. My favorite place, Temu.com. And I found the exact same tool. Now, I gave this a thorough look over at the Homeless Depot. and I didn't want to spend $22. Well, I find the exact tool on Temu.com, the exact same tool, $5.78. The exact same wire cutter combo tool that I looked at the homeless depot for $5.78. And believe me, this is a real, if you're doing any kind of electrical work, this is the perfect combo tool for you. The exact same tool. I know because I held it in my hand at the homeless depot, and that's the same tool. Would have cost me $22 plus tax at the homeless depot. I got it for $5.78. Local seller. I ordered it Sunday afternoon. It arrived via Coffe Express in my milk chute this morning. Also, my toaster came today, and my 35-inch oscillating circular fan. Tomorrow, I will indoctrinate the toaster. It's really cool. It has a digital panel. Oh, I should have brought the picture in. I'll bring it in tomorrow. You put whatever, bread, bagels, put them in, pop the lever down, and then you push the color that you want your item toasted. There are 9 different pictures. And all you do is you touch the picture and the toaster does the rest. And both slots are extra wide. It surprised me because in the description it said 1. Both. So I can put a whole bagel in and toast a whole bagel instead of oh, it looks cool. I can't wait to try it. Because you don't have to do anything. You put the bread or the bagels or English muffins in, push the lever down, and then, I want this color. Tomorrow I will let you know how it works, because I have bagels, I have my Irish butter, I have cream cheese and no lox. I didn't feel like running up to Save-A-Lot. Although I am going to go to Save-A-Lot because the price of Philadelphia cream cheese with chives for that little dinky container was $4.86. I'm like, what are they making this stuff out of? Crude oil that they're getting from the Strait of Hormuz? That's almost as bad as the goddamn bagels. I went over to the bagel section and I picked up a package of Thomason's, whatever, you know, the number one name in bagels. And then I looked at the price. $5.86 for a package of goddamn bagels. They went right back on the shelf. And there was a guy stocking eggs behind me. And he heard me say, Jesus Christ, what are these made out of gold? And he saw me put them back. And he said, if you go 2 aisles down, we have a new supplier of bagels. Hillendale. They've been carrying a lot of Hillendale products. I don't know where Hillendale Dairy is out of. I'm going to look them up. I have to gargle Hillendale. The same size package. Hillendale bagels. $2.26. The same package. I got 2 for what I would have paid for 1. So I got cinnamon bagels and one I have never heard of. French toast. Yeah, French toast bagels. I can't wait to try them. Now, the cinnamon bagel, I'll put cream cheese on. I think I will experiment with the French toast just with the Irish butter. I cannot believe the goddamn price of bagels. What are they making them things out of? Titanium? Gold dust? $6? And what do you get? 8 bagels? 10? Luckily, the guy overheard me bitching. Now, they didn't have onion bagels because he told me they don't have the full line yet. So I got the cinnamon, and I saw these French toast bagels. And for the price, I decided to give them a try. Because when I went back and thanked him, he told me, he says, well, hopefully by the end of next week, we will have the whole line. You know, the plain, the onion bagel, the everything bagel, the aardvark bagel, the avocado bagel, you know, bagels got everything nowadays. but I could not believe the price of Thompson's or Thomason's or whatever. They've been around for years. Oh, I got a request, Kathy. The next time you go grocery shopping, see if you can find a jar of dried beef. Because I want to make chipped beef on toast. Now that I have my new toaster. Because Mark's doesn't carry dried beef. And I'm pretty sure Hormel makes it. I remember seeing the jar, and I'm pretty sure Hormel makes the dried beef. Now, I'm going to check the next time I get up to Save-A-Lot, and I might end up going to Aldi's, although I doubt Aldi's has it, because I don't think Aldi's carries Hormel products. But if I can't find it here, and you can find it down there, I might be figuring a way to get some money to you. I would tend to think you'll find it down there because that's a southern item. The guy even said it in the video because that kind of reminded me. But I know Mark's doesn't have it because I looked for it once before. Now I'm kind of hoping maybe Save-A-Lot, maybe even Family Dollar, or because Family Dollar does have quite a big food area now. Because now that I have my new toaster, I'm going to be using the hell out of that thing. But it's really cool. All you have to do is look at the color. Do you want it lightly brown? Do you want it medium brown? Do you want it brown? Do you want it charcoal? Yeah, I can't wait to try it. So easy, even a monkey could make toast. Put the bread in, push the lever down, oh, dink. The only addition, you can either add or subtract 10 seconds. There's a little dial, well, touchscreen, and it says add 10 seconds, subtract 10 seconds. So evidently, if you get like medium dark, and you want it darker than light dark, you can either add or subtract 10 seconds. But I'm kind of hoping tomorrow that the color I push, I don't have to add or subtract. And if all goes right, tomorrow you will see a new addition to the studio. It's supposed to be here in the morning. And if it's here within enough time, because there is some assembly required, you will see Grumpy's new addition to his studio. It was something I couldn't pass up when I saw the sale price. Walmart online. When I saw the sale price, I said, I need this item like I need a hole in the head, but I have a few bucks, so I ordered it. And it's supposed to be here tomorrow morning. And if it's here tomorrow morning, it will be in this studio for airtime. And it is cool. It's as if it was made for Grumpy. It's as if I designed it. And when I saw the price, I almost had heart failure. I said, there ain't no way. Matter of fact, I didn't believe it. So I called Walmart customer service. And I said, is this an error? And the girl said, give me the SKU number. And I gave her the SKU number, and she said, no, that is the correct price. And free shipping? And free shipping. Thank you. Click. Order. Really? Out of Canada? Wow. At the price of those bagels, I wonder, because I know Mr. Big here enacted or did he retract the tariff to Canada? I remember he pissed off the Canadian Prime Minister. Yeah, Mark started with the butter, and then it seems like every time I shop, there is a new Hillendale product. Because I don't remember seeing these bagels last week. Because the bagels are in, I know they weren't there last week because they're in the butter and the cream cheese cooler. And I got Hillendale butter because it was on sale last week. 2 for $5. Because I got one of each. I got salted and unsalted. 2 pounds for $5. Because goddamn Land O'Lakes butter is like $5.89 for a pound. And butter is butter. Well, except for the Irish butter. I'm hooked on that. But I don't use that for cooking. That goes on my toast and my bagels. I buy regular butter for cooking. And I cannot believe Land O'Lakes. I can't believe people are buying Land O'Lakes at that price. Christ, I looked at that 2 for $5, and I didn't really need that much butter. I was like, screw it, it'll keep. So I got one of each. Because sometimes I have a taste for unsalted butter. And every Hill and Dale product I've had has been delicious. I mean, their butter is great. Their cream cheese is delicious. Except they don't make chive. Either that or it's on the way in. But that little dipsy doodle container, God, the thing was like maybe 8 ounces. Maybe I don't even think it's that big. That little tiny plastic container of chive cream cheese for $5. I don't need it that bad. Especially when I got a block of cream cheese for $2.14. Hillendale. But I will try the bagels. I mean, it's really hard to screw up a bagel. Because 90% of bakeries that make bagels have Jewish bakers. Because when it comes down to it, Jewish bakers make the best bagels. And if any corporation wants to make competitive bagels, they're going to have Jewish bakers. So, Kathy, if you need a fancy schmancy do-all combination wire cutter, crimper, chopper, Temu.com. Yeah, the same identical ones at Homeless Depot. I couldn't believe it. When I opened the box today and took them out of the box, I said, these are the same goddamn ones that Homeless Depot carries for $20. Talk about robbery without a gun. And like I say, local seller. I had them in a week. Less than a week, 6 days. Because I bought, I'll tell you what, these wire connectors that I got off of Temu. As a matter of fact, there was a commercial for the company that sells these wire connectors. So I saw the commercial. I wrote it down, the website. I looked on the website, and for 100 connectors, they wanted like $26. I said, I don't need them that bad. I happened to open Temu one day, and here's these connectors. And they were the same ones I saw in the commercial. $100 pieces. I think they were $6.75. So I ordered them. I got them yesterday. Oh my God. When I finish the rest of the wiring on the Passat, they are going to speed the job up so much. It's unbelievable. And they're quality. They're not cheap Chinese crap. It is absolutely amazing the stuff that they carry on Temu for the ridiculous price. These wire cutters are the perfect example. Because I was shocked when I opened the box. I said, for that price, they're going to be some real knockoff junk. And when I took them out of the box, I said, God damn, these are the same ones I had in my hand at Home Depot. The only difference is the name isn't engraved here. Who big deal? They're the same wire cutters. The same quality. I don't care that there's no name on them. I'm impressed. I can't wait to use them.
Wow!
Yep. Oh, I got a cramp in my thumb. Ow. Oh. Today, I hear this rumbling engine noise. And a very impressive rumbling engine noise. And it was in my next door neighbor's driveway. Well, it's the Opel GT. I thought he sold it. So I went over and I talked to him. And I said, I thought you sold that car. He said, oh, no. He said, I sent it out to an engine rebuilder. And the guy took it down to bare block and rebuilt it. And does it sound sweet? And I'm begging him to let me drive it. Mainly because back in the day, I owned one. Identical color as this one next door. And it got stolen. I even joked, I says, I'm going to check the VIN number to make sure you got you don't have my car. Yeah. He had that thing gone through bumper to bumper. So now it's like brand new. I'm begging him, let me take it around the block. Bring back memories. because the Opel GT back in the day was referred to as the mini Corvette because it looks like a little baby Corvette. If you look at a Corvette and you look at this, it's like somebody washed it and it shrunk. I'm going to go over it with my camera tomorrow and take a shitload of pictures. But I want to drive it. Although he's a bit of a pain in the ass. Because he's got, I call it a dumb for one. He also has a smart for two. You know, the roller skate. And I wanted to drive it. And he wouldn't let me. I said, I just want to go around the block. No. So I guess tomorrow I'll be begging. Let me drive the Opel GT, please. Matter of fact, 2 summers ago, he bought his wife one of those, oh God, what the hell is it? Can-Am Spider? It's that real cool 3-wheel motorcycle. It looks like a car, but it's classified as a motorcycle. Holds 2 people, has doors, steering wheel, gear shift. He bought it for his wife. And she drove it all summer long, and she wouldn't let me take it for a ride. I said, let me go around the block. No. Then he ended up selling it. And then she moved out. Oh, if she could see what's going on over here. Oh. I don't know if they're divorced yet or not. Man. If she knew what was going on here, there'd be gunfire. That's all I got to say. Unbelievable. Good to the last drop. As a matter of fact, I got to get a hold of Bill and find out when we're going to go over and check the Corvette out. The weather's starting, well, it was getting nice. I'd like to get that thing wrapped up because right now I'm the only bidder. I'd like to get it wrapped up and get it over here so I can start tinkering with it. Hopefully, it's not a money pit like the Passat. But at least with the Corvette, he has a title. And he can sign it and give it to me. Then I'll have the legal paper and say it's mine. I really want that car. I don't know why I should kick myself. It's probably going to be a money pit. I want that car. Especially now that I can't have the Jeep. Oh, that broke my heart. Read the first part of the letter. Well, it's... How the hell did she word it? Where's the letter? Well, the day has come, and I have to sell the orange Jeep. You asked to be first refusal, and then the next paragraph. Unfortunately, this would now be a project. And my heart sank. Although I should have known that she wasn't going to sell me a perfectly good Jeep. Oh, the walking belly has arrived. That didn't scare you? The other day it did. Your hair went like... That didn't scare you? Big boy? I know, you're starving to death, I know. The walking belly has arrived. And on time. Oh, you're right on time. He just stared at me. Feed me. Never mind the time. Feed me. You're not going to die from hunger. Believe me. You're 22 pounds. You got a lot of fat reserves. Now you just stand there. Feed me. Oh, the look. The facial expression right now is enough to oh. It's amazing how cats can make certain facial expressions. He's giving me that sad eye look like I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Any minute now, I'm gonna take my last breath. All right.
That's it, I'm through.
I have to feed the walking belly. And we actually got through a show without freezing up. No, that's not the music we want. Damn tablet picks its own songs now. That's the one we want. We know where, right here, WDWL TV, home of not one, but 2 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and an Oscar. And with that, everyone, thanks for being here. Everyone have a wonderful rest of your evening. And we will meet again right here tomorrow night. Everyone, take care. And see ya. Bye-bye. Where's my clicker?